Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, your deepest desires, whether it's financial freedom, better health, or meaningful relationships, just seem out of reach? What if I told you there's a simple, profound way to align with the infinite power within you to manifest exactly what you want without forcing or struggling? Today, I'm diving into the life and teachings of Joel S. Goldsmith, a spiritual pioneer whose ideas have transformed countless lives by showing us that true achievement comes not from effort alone, but from a deep inner realization. Stick around because after I share who he was, how his ideas came to be, and what his core philosophy is for achieving what you want in life, I'll walk you through his methods step by step so you can start applying it today and see real changes in your own world.
Manifest all your dreams and live the life you deserve.
Let's start at the beginning. Joel Solomon Goldsmith was born on March 10th, 1892, in New York City, into a Jewish family. He grew up in a bustling urban environment, and as a young man, he pursued a career in business, working as a salesman and later in sales management. Life seemed ordinary for him, focused on material success, family, and the daily grind. But everything changed in 1928, when he was 36 years old. Goldsmith fell seriously ill with what doctors diagnosed as a severe case of pneumonia, complicated by a history of health issues. Conventional medicine offered little hope, and he was bedridden, facing what seemed like his end. In desperation, a Christian Science practitioner visited him and offered to pray for his healing. During that prayer session, something extraordinary happened. Goldsmith experienced a profound spiritual awakening, a direct inner realization of God's presence that flooded him with peace and wholeness. Miraculously, he recovered completely within days, without any medication. This wasn't just a physical healing, it was the birth of his spiritual journey. From that moment on, Goldsmith dedicated his life to understanding and sharing this experience. He began studying the Bible deeply, drawing from both Jewish and Christian mystical traditions, as well as influences from Eastern philosophies and modern metaphysics. He realized that his healing wasn't a fluke, but the result of tapping into an infinite spiritual reality that transcends the material world. This led him to become a spiritual healer himself. Over the next few decades, he traveled extensively across the United States, Europe, and Hawaii, offering healing sessions to thousands of people suffering from all sorts of ailments, physical, emotional, and financial. People came to him not as a doctor or therapist, but as someone who could guide them to their own inner source of power. By the 1930s and 1940s, Goldsmith had developed a dedicated following. And in 1941, he published his first book, The Infinite Way, which outlined his core teachings and became a bestseller in spiritual circles. He continued writing prolifically, producing over 30 books and established classes and retreats to teach his principles. Goldsmith lived a simple life, often emphasizing humility and detachment from fame. He passed away on June 17, 1964, in London. But his legacy endures through his writings and the students who carry on the Infinite Way teachings today. Now, how did his ideas originate? Goldsmith's philosophy, known as the Infinite Way, wasn't something he invented out of thin air. It evolved from his personal healing experience, combined with years of contemplative study and practice. He drew heavily from the Bible, interpreting it mystically rather than literally, seeing it as a map to inner consciousness rather than historical events. For instance, he reinterpreted stories like the creation in Genesis as symbols of the spiritual truth that God is the only reality, and everything else is an illusion of the senses. Influences from Christian Science, the teachings of mystics like Meister Eckhart, and even subtle nods to Eastern non-dualism shaped his views. But the real catalyst was that 1928 awakening. It showed him that problems in life, whether illness, lack, or conflict, aren't solved by external actions alone, but by shifting your consciousness to recognize the ever-present perfection of the divine within. He spent hours in daily meditation, testing and refining these insights through healing others. Over time, he realized that true spiritual living isn't about rituals or affirmations. It's about a silent inner communion with the source that automatically harmonizes your life. This realization formed the foundation of the infinite way, a path where you stop seeking outside yourself and start realizing the infinite supply already within. At the heart of Goldsmith's ideas is this revolutionary concept for achieving what you want in life. Everything you desire, abundance, health, love, success, is already yours because you are one with the infinite, all-providing God or universal consciousness. He taught that the material world is like a dream. It's not ultimately real, and struggling against it only perpetuates the illusion. Instead, the key to manifestation isn't willpower, visualization techniques, or positive thinking. Those are superficial and often backfire because they keep you focused on lack. Goldsmith's big idea was practicing the presence. By resting in the awareness of God's omnipotence, you dissolve the barriers of fear and limitation, allowing the divine intelligence to unfold your good naturally. He often said, the issues of life are in consciousness, meaning that changing your inner state changes your outer experience. Want a better job? Don't chase it desperately. Realize that infinite opportunities flow from the source. Facing health challenges? Affirm not the problem, but the perfection already present. This isn't passive. It's an active surrender that leads to effortless achievement. Goldsmith's followers report miracles, debts vanishing, relationships healing, careers soaring, simply by applying this shift in awareness. Now, as I promised earlier, after giving you this background on who Joel Goldsmith was, how his ideas emerged from that life-changing healing in deep study, and the essence of his philosophy for unlocking what you truly want in life, let's get practical. I'll explain his method step by step. It's called Practicing the Presence through Meditation and Realization, and show you exactly how to apply it to manifest your goals. This isn't complicated. It's a daily practice that anyone can do, and it builds over time to create profound shifts. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to start right away. First, understand the foundation. Goldsmith's method is rooted in 3 principles: revelation, realization, and illumination. Revelation is the initial insight that God is all there is, and you are inseparable from that wholeness. Realization is making it real in your experience through contemplation. Illumination is the ongoing light that guides your life. To apply this for achieving what you want, you use a structured meditation practice combined with daily living awareness. Here's how to do it, step by step. Step 1. Set aside dedicated time for meditation, ideally 15 to 30 minutes twice a day, once in the morning and once before bed. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and begin by centering yourself. Goldsmith recommended starting with a simple acknowledgement. I rest in the silence of my own being, knowing that God is my life, my supply, my all. Don't force words, let them come gently. The goal here is to quiet the mind's chatter about problems or desires. If thoughts of what you want, like more money or a loving partner, arise, don't push them away, but gently redirect to the truth that all good is already present in infinite consciousness. This step dissolves the mental barriers that block manifestation. Step 2, enter the practice of the infinite way by contemplating specific truths. Goldsmith taught using short contemplative phrases from scripture or his teachings. For example, to achieve financial abundance, meditate on, I am the place where God shines through. Infinite supply is my birthright. Repeat this internally, not as a mantra to chant mechanically, but as a seed for realization. Ponder it deeply. What does it mean that supply is infinite? Visualize not the thing you want, but the feeling of completeness in God's presence. If doubts creep in like, but I have bills to pay, acknowledge them without judgment and return to the truth. There is no lack in the infinite. Lack is only a belief in separation. This step dissolves the mental barriers that block manifestation. Step 3, move into silence. This is the heart of Goldsmith's method, pure, wordless awareness. After contemplating for 10 to 15 minutes, let go of all thoughts and simply be. Rest in the stillness, feeling the presence of the divine as a tangible peace within you.